I try so hard not to say bad things about Bitcoin because one, if Bitcoin's value is high, all cryptocurrencies' value are going to be higher. And if people are going to switch to other cryptocurrencies, wouldn't it be nice if they got more from what they had to get into the next thing, right? And all of the people that follow me, for the most part, are big Bitcoin guys, and I've still got a bag of Bitcoin, and they've got bags of Bitcoin. So I really try to not say bad things about Bitcoin, but it's near impossible because it's fucked up. It is fucked up, and it's been fucked up for a long time, and it doesn't look like it's getting better. It looks like it's getting worse, and I'm tired of having to like lie basically and not tell people the truth to try and hold up their prices and not lose followers. And it just pisses me off that I don't like doing that shit. I like telling the truth. It feels better. So what do we got right now? We do have other. So
in hindsight, yeah. In hindsight,
look, in hindsight, the miners could have been bigger pricks too. I don't know, right? So the developers turned out to not work out, and then maybe if I had sided with the miners, then maybe they ended up being pricks too. And it's like, we still need the developers to do good work. Maybe if they didn't get their way, some of those guys would have fallen off, and then we'd have less development. It's too hard to say which way was the right way to go. Here's what I do know. People agreed to give 2 megabyte blocks. So whoever was in that room agreed that they would mine and signal for 2 megabyte blocks if SegWit got in. SegWit got in, and the 2 megabyte blocks didn't get in. So whoever that party was, and I don't know who they were, I don't even know their name, whoever that party was that agreed to give the 2 megabyte blocks and then didn't, reneged and was fraudulent, right? Now people don't realize how dangerous what the UASF guys, of which I was one, and promoted and wanted to see happen, they don't understand what that really meant to the network. What that really meant was, if the miners ignore our UAS stuff and just do what they want, do their 2 megabyte block stuff, all the people that were on UASF, the no 2x guys, they would have just splintered off and had their own network with no hash rate, or such a pitiful hash rate that they could be attacked by anyone with like some SHA-256 ASICs. And then now what? They probably also, as you said, didn't have any of the businesses. So all they really had, right. So all they really had was the ability to Sybil attack the actual network. So in the event that the miners were like, no, actually screw you guys, we're going to do what we want, because look at the economic difference, right? How much money do the businesses have invested, and how big is their mailing list, right? How much money how big is blockchain.info's mailing list, right? How much money do the miners have invested? And you compare that economic energy and that customer base with what the nerds that run nodes have, and mostly just default nodes. They don't even know what the fuck's going on. They just want to feel cool, so they double click that node that they think's cool, but they don't actually know how to edit the configuration file or know when something's going wrong. They're basically script kiddies, right? So you got a bunch of script kiddies that now, if the miners didn't fold and the script kiddies maintained their little node, it would have just been a Sybil attack. They would have just acted like, oh no, we're the real Bitcoin, but you're not. You're the fake Bitcoin, right? You don't have any of the things that make Bitcoin good. The exchanges, the businesses, the mining hardware. Anyone could attack you at will. It was a big risk. It was actually a very big risk. And so the UASF guys put a gun to Bitcoin's head, and the miners put a gun to Bitcoin's head, and they're like, okay, well, sort of Democles, right? Like, we're going to split the baby in two unless one of you gives up. And the miners gave up. And it worked out okay, but it was risky. And now is it working out okay? I don't think so. So to summarize, who lied, cheated, and stealed? I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. I didn't steal. But I promoted something that was, dangerous and happened to work out. So yay. Then it worked out then, right? We got transaction malleability fixed. We got Lightning. Like, the ability to build things on Bitcoin did improve. Go ahead. Yeah. I don't want to do all the talking.
You said we got Lightning, and I was going to say, do you? That's another thing that's really bothered me. Maybe you've addressed it already, but I see all these people passing the Lightning torch around, and they have no understanding of what they're doing. They're using these custodial wallets, if it's no different than sending PayPal from one person to another, but they're all out there on social media saying, "Hey, I got the PayPal." I mean, the Lightning torch, right? And they have zero understanding of what's going on there.
So, all Lightning is. So in summary, so we can close this thread. The lying and cheating and stealing was, there was risk taken, And somebody said that they were going to give the 2 megabyte blocks after we got SegWit. We got SegWit. They didn't give the 2 megabyte blocks. Whoever that guy was, and I don't know who it was, he reneged, right? Now, could the rest of the community have been like, and it's weird, like the rest of the community wasn't in the room either, right? Like I didn't get to say anything, you know, because I wasn't a dev and I wasn't a miner. You know, I'm just a smart guy that tries to tell people the truth on YouTube for free. So that's my position, right? Like thought leader, I guess. Now, in your team, the BCH team, you would love to see like what was going on in the Dragon's Den, because I was in the Dragon's Den, right? And the Dragon's Den is this little secret room inside some Slack server for Bitcoin people. I can tell you guys there's nothing interesting going on in there. Absolutely nothing. Because I went in, I scrolled up for a while, and I saw absolutely nothing of interest. Nobody doing anything interesting whatsoever. And then I never went in again because it had no utility. And it's very easy to believe that it had no utility because look at their messaging. They don't have memes. They don't have marketing. They're not effective socially. So why would you think that they had a secret room to be effective socially when they're not effective socially? So maybe
they're spending too much time in the room rather than out there doing effective things. So.
Yeah, look, you wear the shirt, man. You wear a BCH Please shirt, which means I know you're doing the fucking best you can. Look, you're a rich guy. You could wear whatever you want. You could be jolted up and wear whatever you want, but you're committed to getting something done. And so you're going to take a fashion hit to get that shit done, right? And I'm doing the same thing. I'm wearing I'm covered in so many fucking hexagons that I basically look at a geometry puzzle because I'm for the mission. I got something I want to do. And you know, like look at the fashion wear that the Bitcoin guys are wearing. They're literally wearing a hat that summarizes to fuck you. That's the hat.
Toxicity, yeah.
Right. How are you going to get can you tell me any government in the world, any ruling party that's done well with the fuck you mentality? It doesn't work. It's just like you do martial arts, right? You're probably black belt in jiu-jitsu, right?
I'm brown belt, yeah, working on the black belt still. So.
Yeah, but the style he does, I mean, it probably takes 15 years to get a black belt or something. How long does it take to get a black belt?
I'm 11 years in, so yeah, right. I'm getting pretty close.
Right, so this isn't like you go to the corner, like, you know, with the kids learning karate, and then like, oh, you know, 4 years in, you get a black belt. No, he's doing something that takes a decade. Yeah. The reason that being an asshole doesn't work is the same reason you don't see people punching each other in the face in the street. Because basically one guy will lock up one other guy and get into a wrestling match, and then the only thing that actually wins is more parties, more people, usually, right? So in jiu-jitsu, a small guy could hang on to a big guy and wear him out and eventually win, like almost always, if he can get and hang on, right? There's like a short window where the big guy has a chance to get a good hit, but if he doesn't get that chance, it's fucking over. The same thing happens when you're being an asshole trying to promote a cryptocurrency. When you're an asshole, other people fight you, and you get into a bickering match, and neither of you is building anything, and neither of you, it just doesn't fucking work. Being an asshole does not work. Finding commonality and finding places that you can both make progress, that works. That works amazing. Like look at America, look at the United States. We had all these people from all these other countries that chose to find commonality. Sure, they still lived in different neighborhoods and still spoke different languages, but when it came to getting shit done, I mean, the Empire State Building was built in, you know, single-digit years. I think it was built in like 4 years or something, because they could work together. Well, that's how you should feel with cryptocurrencies too. You should skip this tribal bullshit. And when you're being tribal, you're actually fucking your own pocketbook. Like, I don't want to say bad things about Bitcoin because it's bad for all cryptocurrencies, truthfully, for the price. It's not. If you want to speak like privately and tell people like, hey, look, I think you might want to do some things differently. Well, that's not bad for everybody. And you could still get people to switch to the better thing, right? And we don't look like a bunch of noob idiots to the whole rest of the world that's watching. Who represents Bitcoin publicly? Roger used to. I still do. Like I went on stage in Malta a couple weeks ago and said only good things about it on purpose because it takes effort for me to do so. But who else? Andreas, he's on Team Ethereum, right? This idea that there's some cool dude that just loves Bitcoin, there aren't any. If you just love Bitcoin, you're an asshole. You don't actually care about getting things done in the real world. In the real world, all these cryptocurrencies actually work pretty good. You send you have a little screen and you have some number in it, and you make your number go down, and then somewhere else in the world, someone else's number goes up, and it doesn't double spend. And that works like for Dogecoin, for Monero, for Bitcoin, for Ethereum,
Bitcoin
for
Cash,
fucking Bitcoin Cash. They all actually work pretty good, and they're all mostly forks of Bitcoin. So if you liked Bitcoin a year ago or 2 years ago, that's where they started from. That's where they started from.
And so let's talk about the big differences then between these. So like they all, for the most part, work pretty good.
Yeah.
I would argue that BTC has one of the worst user experiences there because of the full blocks and the high fees. But
they don't have that. They haven't had that for a while. They haven't had that for a while. But if it ever gets successful again, they will. They will,
exactly. Yeah. So if we look at it today, what differentiates, Dogecoin from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash to these and this and
Let's
that?
Go over
Ethereum, of course.
I mean, I've never really had a smart stream like this where I've actually compared different coins before because I was a maximalist and I would talk my bag, right? Oh, I've got a bag of Bitcoin. Well, this is the best thing in the world, right? And
so I think there's a few characteristics. The biggest one is the network effect, right? So I think the reason Bitcoin is still the top dog is because it has the biggest network effect with the most users.
I don't think Bitcoin is the top dog. I don't think having the highest market cap makes you the top dog. I really don't.
Okay.
So I pay
I'm open
people
to this
in crypto.
Thing. Let's define what makes something the top dog.
Sure. I pay people in crypto, and I avoid Bitcoin like the fucking plague. Because I don't want you to know how much Bitcoin I have. I don't want you to know. So I can't fucking pay you, basically. I have two options. I either have to route through Monero, or I have to route through mixing, and neither of them's fun. Because if you want to get to Monero, got to go through a central counterparty. Maybe they give you your coins, maybe they don't.
Maybe they report on your coins to, maybe they're being run by the feds and spying on you too.
Right? There's no, Bitcoin and crypto was invented to get rid of counterparties. That's why I love what's going on in Ethereum, because it's all on one chain. All the distributed finance things you want, it's all on one chain. You get to keep the trustlessness. You never have to jump out to some central counterparty that fucks you with an order book or fucks you with fees or fucks you with an exit scam. You get to stay on the same chain. That was the dream. The dream of Bitcoin was this was going to be programmable money. You can't program shit. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. You tell me.
I think I've seen you talk about it before, how they intentionally crippled counterparty and all these tokens that were coming to Bitcoin.
Fuck yeah.
Early on.
Yep. So. Because they're antagonistic. They don't want you to do well. They don't want you to improve their project, and they don't want you to improve anything else either. They just want you to buy their bag and hold it and never use it and never spend it. It's just fucking. So I'm trying to speak with a nuance here, right? Bitcoin has the most liquidity. Now, who does that really matter to? Not you broke fucking people. You guys are broke.
If you're trading $100, it doesn't matter. There's plenty of liquidity on Dogecoin for that.
Exactly. So that liquidity idea, it does not matter to you, Joe Blow person listening. Doesn't. Okay, so what kind of features do you have in Bitcoin? Do you have anonymity? Do you have privacy? Nope. Worst, every single chain analysis company that gets paid millions of dollars a year to remove your privacy from you and fuck you over and de-anonymize you, their tools are all primarily built to operate on Bitcoin. So the people that are trying to fuck you up, they're trained to fuck you up through Bitcoin, right? And it's very rare that people are caught from Bitcoin. They usually screw up some other places first. But I think I heard about maybe one or two child porn guys that paid out of their Coinbase account and got locked up. Now, is that good for the world? Yeah. Nobody likes child porn guys. But
is that good for Bitcoin as a currency? Absolutely not.
Well, fungibility is a very important part of currency, because if you don't have fungibility, you no longer have efficiency. So if you can't trust that the money that you got paid, you really got paid, and it can't just be removed from you by some other party, well, then you have to.
It's not good money.
Well, you lose efficiency. You end up with Visa and MasterCard, right? Like those extra percentage points that you pay in Visa or MasterCard, you actually do get stuff for that. You do get chargeback protection and the ability to have recurring billing through pull system. Now it could be better and it could be more affordable, but really over the 50 years it's existed, it has been demargined, and it is a rather competitive industry. And you might on a 2% extra that you pay for something, you're probably getting at least 1% of actual value there, right? So back to Bitcoin. What makes something the top dog?